Hello, welcome Fables and Fantasy. Thank you for joining us today for our session 0 of both character and world introductions. So to get started here, I have McKay playing as Deathcap in our campaign. And this is a, for the most part, homebrew world, complete in concept and naming, though there are going to be typical D&D creatures and monsters and such that the party members will be facing. The idea and plot behind it are all made by me. So to get started, to give you guys some history and background on the world and the different countries, I'm going to be reading for a little bit, so bear with me. So part of the history, long ago, there was a war between those who were believed to be of the light and those who were believed to be of the dark. The war was long and devastating, lasting for over 300 years, and by the end, mankind had nearly fallen. Believed to be the essence of both dark and light, humans suffered the most throughout the war, to near extinction, as those with strong belief or hatred towards the other side targeted them. To stop the war, 6 beings, now known as the gods of this world, stepped in. Their demurring auras, power, and persuasion ceased the fighting, and a compromise was made. The world was then divided into the key elements of creation and balanced. Due to the elements becoming the main focus, genasties rule this world and are of high status, as well as the key leaders of most of the countries. The 6 divisions became countries, each with their own god, culture, traditions, status, government, and systems. And they are now known as the Dark Domain, the Ember Empire, the Iced Islands, Patran Province, Wafty Wastelands, and Luminous Lands. Now, a few things about the lands. I don't know why I keep. In the Dark Domain, those of dark origin reside here, and they consist of goblins, drow, fallen Aesmar, orcs, tiefling, bugbear, hobgoblin, kenku, yanti, changeling, shifter, gith, minotaur, grung, and kobolds. Those who have never been here have no idea about this land and its workings, and no one on the outside cares enough to write about it. So most of the characters don't really know about the Dark Domain. Some of the characters, or about 2 of them, know about the Dark Domain. And as for the audience and the rest of the characters, you guys will be finding more about it as the characters go along on their adventures. Now to the Ember Empire. This country is ruled by the Fire Genasties. They believe in power and authority. Life is for the strongest and fittest. The whole empire is ruled under one leader, kept within the family. Though the rule is passed down to the children of the previous ruler, the one who is chosen is the one who completes a championship that tests physical, strategical, mental, emotional, and spiritual capabilities as number 1. The championship is held in the largest coliseum in the world, making it take up an entire city, and is known as the Trials of Rahul. The current leader is Azar Garu, currently record holding of fastest and cleanest win in the Championship of Airs. He's quiet, stubborn, strict, stern, and quite the stick in the mud, but very much values and respects those he deems as great warriors, no matter their origin or title. Rahul is the god of this country, a golden dragon whose massive temple resides in the Empire's capital, Zeldris. Dragonborns are also highly renowned and respected here. Next are the Iced Islands. This country is the largest, stretching between the 2 poles of the world. It consists of an icy blizzard that blocks the first several miles of the country, hiding a beautiful tropical land. A few subways and trains were built for people to be able to get in and out of the land safely. There is no government in this country. Instead, they form more like tribal families, each with a chieftain that keeps order, and any sign of disruption of peace is quickly annihilated by their god. The god of this country is Desha, a Ruzalka, bound to the land. She acts as an entertainer, singing and dancing in the biggest oasis and current capital of the country. She has no temple, and the people there are friendly towards her, and she interacts with them almost every day. Next, next is the Patran Province, considered the most diverse of the countries. The country is ruled by the... Sorry. Computer had a stroke. Is ruled by the Democratic Republican Party. Nope. The country is ruled by a Democratic Republican government consisting of many different races, though there is a group of 5 Earth Genassis known as the Elders who also have a say in how the country is run and are highly respected among the subjects. The god of this country is known by the name of Isa, who is believed to have died, and the civilians consider the very land they reside on to be her body. They call her the Great Guardian, thinking her to always be watching over them. Next are the Wafty Wastelands. Highly known to be populated by the air genassis, they are hardly ever seen. Not needing to breathe, they make their residences up in the mountains, which are very large and dangerous, and take up most of the country's land. A fairly large amount is a plain at the base of the mountain, which serves as mainly a tourist area, for the coast consists of crystal clear waters and soft white sand. It is home to many nomads and those looking for an escape or enlightenment in their life. This country is highly religious-oriented and has a handful of areas that have been sectioned off into counties. Each county is governed by a priest who oversees their own local affairs. The priests form a council who together oversee diplomatic affairs and address the needs of the people as a whole. The god of this country is Frimyahan, who looks very much, or resembles much like a moon folk, but is clearly of other origins. She has a temple at the highest peak of the mountain, and it is rumored that she travels around a lot and hardly ever visits. And last but certainly not least are the Luminous Lands, home to only those of celestial origin and Asimars. The land is blocked all around by a large rocky wall, and the only entrance is a golden gate known as Solomon's Grace. The gate stands in front of a massive port, but not even those who bring shipments are allowed to enter. Not much past the gate and walls are known about this land. The god of the country is an astral deva named Solomon who rules the country. He is strict in his custom of not letting anything besides celestials and Asimars enter his territory, but on occasion is known to invite well-known heroes to dine with him. And same with the dark domain, unless you have a character that's going to be from there, or somehow our great adventurers are able to get in. Both they and you as the audience will get to know the land as they do.
We'll make it. It'll be fine.
So next are just a few things about different races. So with humans are a rare spectacle. In an attempt to save their species, a group of protectors rose up vowing excuse me, to oversee them. Though it only took a few generations for that protection to turn into objectification, their status dwindled and are now considered to be rare treasures, kept as slaves, antiques, or trophies for the rich and powerful. Those who were lucky enough to come across a merciful soul who was strong or wealthy enough to free them must be careful to have their papers on them at all times, as eyes will be on them consistently. Asimars are highly renowned throughout the world, considered to be the essence of light itself along with the celestials. They get a lot of special treatment and are highly respected everywhere, especially among nobles. Those who are highly religious are bound to give them very special treatment, such as whether they are a business, things like free housing in inns, discount at stores, things like that. Then Dragonborns and others of dragon descent, other than kobolds, are especially renowned in the Ember Empire, as they resemble their god Rahul. If negotiated properly, this race often receives special treatment. Then the Genassis take up most noble and royal places in this world. Those born into the families with government power are very especially treated. Then you have Kalashtars, who tend to be religious advisors and temple organizers, serving the light and guiding the people and many reside in the Wafty Wastelands. Tritons residing anywhere other than the icy islands are extraordinarily rare, as they wish to remain close to their god and ideal homelands. And then you have the Warforged, which are more like trinkets used as bodyguards for the nobles since times of peace have been around for centuries. And Warforged are also considered to be rare, just in the world in general, along with humans. Now, keeping all of this in mind, just so you not to get mixed up with the storyline, because there's going to be a lot of reference to dark and light origin. So there's going to be a lot of racism, lots of comments towards specific races, and discrimination to those of dark origin, and really important with different interactions that are going to happen in the storyline.
Why is that? Would you say that people just generally in this time, maybe not live in a time of fear, but just a time of disdain for what they caused in the past? Is it just long memories?
A lot of it has to do with tradition. Very traditionally focused, especially in the Ember Empire. They are very much about honor and duty and like continuing their past, their family origin, all of that. So a lot of it is focused around tradition. And also there's just this innate feeling that those of dark origin are bad people. And kind of like how tieflings in normal D&D are, because they're demon spawn, they're considered to be untrustworthy and not very likable. And so it's a lot like that. And you are born with this kind of character with, the dark origin as this world has it. And so it's just very, very narrow-minded focus, certainly, but that would be why. I also realized I didn't tell you the name of this world. The name of this world is Hellderam. Hellderam.
Hellderam?
Hellderam.
Hellderam. Okay. I am curious to find out whether light means good and dark means evil in this world. I am curious. Because I could see some of those darn pompous ASMRs taking advantage of those special privileges. I'm not a fan.
We will see.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and introduce your character. Give us description and as much backstory as you care to inform.
All right. Well, for starters, I'm McKay. I've been playing D&D for a good while, and I mean, I enjoy doing it, and I think it'd be fun to start doing something like this. And for my first character of this series, I suppose, we're playing Deathcap. He is a Warforged Circle of Spores druid with 1 level of Life Cleric. I've been theory crafting him for a very long time, actually, like multiple months, just because at my current job, that's just what I do. I love D&D so much, and I really like making characters not necessarily based on like whether or not they're like good, they do a lot of damage, or they do a lot of support or whatever, but like more of like, do they fit a theme? Because I like coming up with a unique theme, and it was really cool. At this time, I went with kind of like beauty in disgusting things, honestly, because like as gross as they are, like mold and mushrooms and fungus and just like the dirty things of life are not only fascinating to look into, but also rather important in a way. And I want Deathcap to kind of embody that patient, gentle aspect of a needed part of the environment, where death is a part of it in a cycle, and it's a very vibrant, ever-changing process. And yeah, I hope I can do it justice and stay consistent. He's going to be playing a Warforged, though I recently the Unearthed Arcana dropped for the new Gothic lineages, and the Reborn came out, and I was like, this is cool. And I swap over his their race to be Reborn, a Reborn Warforged, and we got an A-okay. I will be the apparently the only support of the party. It'll be a fun process. He's going to do lots of over the time healing, and especially just kind of, I'm hoping to really bring a cool flavor aspect into it. A lot of my spells will do different kind of like fungus and decay sort of themed stuff. Yeah. If you're looking for backstory, personally, I'm totally comfortable sharing, because Deathcap is probably going to be rather open in a naive sort of way. He was a Warforged that served in the, what do we call it? This calamity, the Great War?
The early war.
The early war, okay. He was a Warforged that served, like many other Warforged, in the Great War. Me personally, as a player, I don't know what his role was in the war. But for some other reason or another, he stumbled into Dacia, the goddess of the iced islands, her oasis, and in that oasis, there was kind of just a magical energy, and some of a nice fungus colony. Lovely people. I'm very fond of them. Luckily found this Warforged that had fallen into this oasis and was broken and busted and wouldn't survive on its own. And they kind of magically integrated. And what spawned was a better whole that, for one, it was beneficial for the mushroom colony to have such an advantage, for one. Being able to move around, being able to talk, communicate, interact with the world in a different way. And for the Warforged, it brought new life and purpose to it. And Deathcap is very, very loyal to Dacia. And much like how, I hope I won't say this too much during the campaign, but much how like mycelium is just spread out over sometimes even square miles of area. Like everyone in this world of Hellderam is connected in some way. And especially since this war, I'm certain that Deathcap doesn't remember. Deathcap hasn't been around in a while, and coming back to the world when it's so broken on a fundamental level in terms of how people are interacting with each other, I think he's going to try his best to fix that in some ways. Just find little ways to help the few find peace. Yeah. I don't know. You have any questions for me, Miss Lovely DM?
Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in with us, and we hope to see you on more of our DM character interviews, and then hopefully for session 1 and on. So thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again.
Adios.